Hello everybody and welcome to today's session, which is here. It looks like a really long session, but it's just because there are a lot of audios, so actually it's not so long. And anyway, it is the last online session, so I think you can go back to it anytime during Christmas. So let's start. As you know, in the previous unit we dealt with important grammar topic, which is passive voice. So let's begin with a revision. If you click here, there's a Moodle lesson that I showed you in class, but just the beginning. So let's go over it again. It's just a revision. The first page is explanation. So read it paying attention to everything that is said and understand each individual use. Okay, then we go to the next page by clicking here. And I think I showed you this in class, but anyway, this is the transformation that we followed to obtain a passive voice sentence out of an active voice sentence, right? Here is the explanation and how everything changes in the sentence. And then you have 3 examples. So if you click here, it takes you to number 1, where you have a sentence. You have to write here the active voice of this same sentence. I'm going to write something without any meaning. You see that if I submit this, it tells me that it's wrong. I need to try again, and then I go back to the sentence. So you have 10 attempts to try to find the correct sentence for this active voice. So it's 3 sentences that you will get, but you have to write them correctly before getting to know the next sentence. So it's like a challenge. Okay, going back. Then also I've given you here this link. It's a passive voice detector. So if you go here, it's an application from a website on the internet. So you write here in this box a sentence in passive voice. For example, America was discovered in 1492. You have to be very accurate with spelling, otherwise it won't understand your sentence. I click here, and it tells me that there is one passive voice in this box, right? It tells me that the auxiliary verb phrase is shown in italics, and it's highlighted in yellow, as you can see here, while the transitive action verb is shown bold here and with green highlights. So this means that the sentence I have written is correct in passive voice. This works in 99% of the occasions, but the other day I was trying this and I spotted one error. Okay, but it works for 99% of the sentences. So it's just for curiosity. If you want to try it before you write a sentence, if you are not very sure, you can try this tool. Okay, so now we're going to the next thing we're going to do is correct the homework we had for today, which is this sheet from your book. Let's begin with this exercise. I'm going to show you the missing words. You can pause the video if you didn't do it, undo it, or just correct it straight away. Okay, let's have a look at the other exercise. Here you have to circle the correct form, active or passive. So let me show you the correct forms. Perfect. Remember, any doubt, any question, you can bring it to class and we will discuss about it. Right, let's go on. Next thing we're going to do to begin, remember the other day we started Unit 6A, which is about cinema. We saw some vocabulary on cinema. We did this, number 4. Let's do this as a practice. Let's see if you remember some of the words we saw in the vocabulary section. So do this exercise here. I'm going to magnify it so you can see better. Okay, so let's do it. You can obviously pause the video. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Let's see this other text. Read it and fill in the gaps. Of course, pause the video and show you now. Alright, here we go with the missing words. And finally, let's have a look at this third text. They are all film reviews, as you can see, right? It's a piece of writing that sometimes appears in the exam, not very often, but it's a possibility. So here you have some examples. Okay, let's just do it. And these are the missing words. Perfect. Now let's continue with the book. Let me just check that I'm following the correct order. We've done these 3 things. Now we're going to do the reading. Okay. Alright, it's a reading about extras. It says here, look at the definition of an extra, which is this one: a person who is employed to play a very small part in a film, usually as a member of a crowd. Okay, and have a look at the photos in the article. These photos here. Right? Can you think of 3 negative things about being an extra? Okay, maybe you can write it down. And now let's read the article and let's see if our ideas are mentioned in the article. So read it and check if your ideas were right. Then after that we do a second reading, and this time we complete the paragraph headings with words from the list. Okay, we have these 7 words to place in the 7 headings. Right? After we do that, we continue working with the text, and here what you have to do is answer the questions from memory. So now let's not look at the text and check your memory, and let's see if you remember the information about these questions. So I'm going to show you the answer to these questions, but first make the effort to see if you remember that information. These will be the answers. Okay, right, this we'll do it in class, or we'll just skip it. Perfect. So then after this, after reading the text, we continue, because the grammar exercise or the grammar explanation we did in class. So let's do some pronunciation. It's about regular and irregular past participles. And here you have a series of sounds. Okay, you have d, t, o, o, e, a, e. And what you have to do is look at the sound groups, right? They are groups of words. And the past participles, right? They are all past participles. And what you have to do is tick the groups where the sounds of the pink letters are all the same. So here we have d, and we have to see if the pink part of the word is pronounced d. So for example, filmed, used, recorded, owned. Obviously, you've seen that they are all not pronounced the same. So we don't tick it. We don't tick it because they are not pronounced the same. What we do is just circle the word that is different. And if you noticed, filmed, used, recorded, owned, recorded is different. So if I check here, you see that it's different. Okay, let's do this. Please, you do it. Pause the video and I will show you in a moment the corrections. Okay, let me show you the corrections. Right. So here the sound is t, and here this is directed. These are all pronounced the same: or, bought, caught, worn, and drawn. This is pronounced different. This is done, not done, but done. Okay, actually what you have to do is to check it by using audio 6.2. So you can listen here to check. And there's a question: what are the sounds in the circle participles? So I'm going to show you. You see, these are the ones that are different and why they are different. Okay, I told you before: recorded, directed, done, forgotten, fallen, and put. They are different to the other words in the group. And it also tells you to practice saying the groups of words. So you have the audio here, you can practice repeating a couple of times. Then let's do this other exercise. Here you have a series of sentences and you have to listen and change the sentence into the present or passive voice. Example: you will hear they shot the film in Poland. The film, well, you have to change it starting by the film, right? So the film was shot in Poland, which is the same. Okay, so you follow audio 6.3.
6.3.
Let's do the first one.
1. They shot the film in Poland. The film.
Here is where you have to change the sentence and make it present or passive voice. And then there is a confirmation.
The film was shot in Poland.
Okay, you can do the same for the rest of the sentences. And when you finish, well, if you want to double check, here you have the written version of the 8 sentences. Alright, with this we have finished the pronunciation section of this unit. Now what we're going to do is a listening about the Schindler's List. So we go to the listening exercise, which is here because number 4, vocabulary, we did in class. So it's about, as I said, about the film Schindler's List. Have you seen it? I have. If yes, did you like it? I did. If you haven't seen it, would you like to see it? Okay, here you have short description, synopsis of the film, so you can read it. It's a very interesting film, by the way. Okay, and here you have an extra question: what other Spielberg films have you seen and enjoyed? Right, other Spielberg films are these, for example: E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, Minority Report, blah 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 blah. All these films. Okay. So next exercise says, look at the photos of Dagmara Wolkowitz and Spielberg. Where were they? And what do you think Dagmara was doing in the black and white photo? So let's look at the photos. Okay. This is Dagmara and Spielberg, and here she is again next to Spielberg, and the question: what do you think she's doing there? Okay, and then we're going to listen to part 1 of an interview with Dagmara and check about these questions. The listening is here. It's audio 6.7. Then here we have another exercise. Listen again and mark the sentences true or false, and then correct the false sentences. So you listen again to audio 6.7 and do this true-false exercise. Okay, these would be the answers, and then why the sentences are false. This is the explanation why they are false. Okay. Well, here the book focuses on an aspect of learning, which is making notes, right? And gives you a tip about how to make notes. It says, when we make notes is prendere nota, right? For example, in a class, in a conference, we only write down the key words. For example, we write film set every day. We don't write, she had to go to the film set every day, because we don't have time. We need to write really fast. And now the book is going to focus on this, and in audio 6.8 you have to listen to 3 extracts from part 2 of the interview. We've listened part 1 before, now we're going to listen 3 extracts from part 2, and what you have to do is complete the gaps with the keywords. So you see that when you are taking notes, not all the words are important, not all the words need to be written down. So let's do this practice and do it. I'll show you the missing words in a minute. Here they are. Okay. Now we're going to listen again to the whole part of 2 of this interview. Read the questions first, then listen, write down some of the keywords to answer these questions. Okay, let's do it. Well, here it says compare your keywords with a partner. Obviously we cannot do this. Listen again and try to add more. And finally, with a partner, again, it's not possible. So let's answer the questions using the notes we have taken, and these are the answers. Perfect. With this we have finished the listening exercise. We have also finished Unit 6A. Sorry, there is an error here. I will correct it later. And we start Unit 3A. Let me just close this. Then, right, Unit 3A has survived the drive as a title, and the grammar topic we're going to see is choosing between comparatives and superlatives. So it's a kind of revision on that, because you are supposed to have seen this in the past. We'll see some vocabulary on transport. Actually, we're going to begin with the vocabulary of this unit, which is exercise 1, audio 3.1. Listen, what forms of transport can you hear, right? So write 1 to 8 in these boxes here. Let's see if you got them right. Perfect. Well, after this we go to the vocabulary bank, which is on page, in your book is on page 227. You go there, and well, we just give you some time, pause the video, do all the exercises here. It's very important to get the basic, remember this is basic vocabulary on the topics that we are covering. So now it's transport, so here we have basic vocabulary on transport. Let's begin by doing this matching exercise. I show you the answers now. Here, as always, you have the audio to listen and check. This is not obligatory, but if you want to check the pronunciation, which you have here actually, right? If you can read the phonetic symbols, here you have the pronunciation. Okay, this is the answer for exercise 1. Then exercise 2, on the road, some vocabulary that you may use on the road. Again, here it's audio 3.3, and I'm going to show you all the answers. Car crash, cycle lane, parking fine, pedestrian zone, petrol station, roadworks, rush hour, seatbelt, speed cameras, speed limit, taxi rank, traffic lights, traffic jam, zebra crossing. Sorry, the word is incomplete here, crossing. Okay, this is very interesting to cover because it's something that sometimes we don't know how to say in English because it's the structure is very different. ¿Cuánto se tarda? That would be ¿cuánto tardas? ¿Cuánto tardaríamos? In English, how long does it take? So we use take, person, this is optional. You can say take you, take him. The time, the amount of time, for example, 2 hours, to get or to go from one place to another. So for example, here you have 3 examples. It takes about an hour to get from London to Oxford by train. We can include the person. It took me more than an hour to get to work yesterday. This would be vaig trigar més d'una hora en arribar al treball ahir. How long does it take you to get to school? So we'll try to do it in class. And then finally, let's have a look at some phrasal verbs related to transport. Complete the phrasal verbs here. And let me show you. Right. As always, you can use audio 3.4 to listen and check as well. Okay, so we go back to the book. This communication activity, we will do it in class. We have some more pronunciation. I think this is what comes next. Yes, pronunciation. Sorry. This time is about the sounds sh, like in caixa in Catalan. The sound j, like in platja, and the sound ch, like in cotxe, in Catalan, cotxe. Okay. So look at the sound pictures. What are the sounds and the words? More or less, I have told you, but what is the action in English that represents this sound? Okay, you can listen to audio 3.5 and say it. Then in exercise B, you have 3 words from the list in each column. So 3 words for this sound, 3 words for this sound. You have to do it. I show you the solution now, or you can listen to it with audio 3.6. Right? Crash, rush, station, jazz, bridge, journey, traffic jam, and ch, adventure, catch, coach. Right. So you can practice saying these words again using the audio. There is a second part where you listen to the pairs of words which are very similar, and it asks you if you can hear the difference. For example, the first one, cheap, jeep. You see that they sound very similar. If you use audio 3.7, you can practice saying them. Chain, Jane, choke, joke. All right. Here it's between the sounds sh and ch. Right. So you can practice this. Then there is this exercise where you will hear either one or the other, and you have to circle the word you hear. Alright, so if you do it, I will show you now the word that is said, that is pronounced in audio 3.8. Okay, here it goes. And finally, you have this exercise with audio 3.9 where you listen to 5 short sentences. What you have to do is just write these sentences and check that they are correct with the audio. Then we continue the class with, we've done the pronunciation with some reading and listening. If you go here to section 3, it's a very interesting reading and listening at the same time. So it says, you're going to read about a race across London. Read the introduction. Where do they have to go from? Where to? What are the 4 forms of transport? So it's a race across London, right? It has a starting point and a finish point, and it's using 4 different types of transport. So read the introduction, which is this here. If you need to have a look at the references on a map, here you have a part of a map of London, and you can see where the race takes place. So it starts here and it finishes here, right? And these are some of the landmarks that you come across in this itinerary. Okay, anyway, so we've read the introduction, and let's answer these questions. These are the 4 means of transport that are used. So it's 4 people, each taking a different means of transport, and the goal is to see who arrives first. Which one do you think will be the fastest, and why? Here it says talk to a partner, obviously, just let's do it individually. And in what order do you think the other 3 will arrive, and why? Okay, so let's now continue, now reading about the journeys by boat, bike and car, and let's see if your predictions continue being the same or you change your mind, maybe. So now you have to read this, right? Some more information about the three rides. Okay, very quickly, let's do this. It says in 3 minutes, read about the 3 journeys again. So go to the texts again and answer the questions with GA for Jeremy, R for Richard, or GA for James. So do it. I show you right now. Perfect. Let's do this other exercise. It says look at the highlighted verb phrases related to travel and transport, and let's try to work out their meaning from the context. So we go back to the text, and let's see if from the context we can guess the meaning of these words highlighted in yellow. Yeah, did you do it? Let's see. As you know, for this program on BBC, okay, Top Gear, which is a program about cars. There are 4 people. We've read about the three people that took part in this competition, and now we're going to listen what happened to the Stig. The Stig, if here you have it, is the nickname of one of the members of the Top Gear team, right? This program. So we're going to listen to what happened to the Stig and look at the map. He was the one who used public transport. What route did he take? What information or warning do you hear when you are traveling on the tube? So listen and pay attention to this, to the route that he took and the announcements that he could hear on the tube, on the underground. Okay, you can use audio 310 for this. Okay. And these are the PA, the public announcements that you can hear on speakers in this case while he was traveling on the underground. Okay, so we've got to the end, and now you have to give your final version, the order in which you now think the 4 people arrived. Who arrived first, who was second, third and fourth. And then we listen to what happened. And let's check the order they arrived. And also tell us why you think that Jeremy Clarkson was annoyed. Okay, so listen to it. There's audio 311. And this is the order in which they arrived. First Richard by bike, then Jeremy by boat, then the stick using public transport, and then James by car. And this person, where is he? Sorry. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson. He was annoyed because Top Gear is a car program and the car was the last to arrive at the destination. Okay, and that annoyed him a little. Okay, and we will do exercise H in class. We've finished the reading and listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. And now, finally, the last part of the class is going to be this revision on grammar, comparatives and superlatives. You have 3 audios here, and in the book, it's next page. Let's have a look at this. It's choosing between comparatives and superlatives. In this exercise, you have to read the sentences and see if the highlighted phrases here in yellow are right. If they are so, we will write here a tick, or wrong. If they are wrong, we write a cross. And then we will say why the wrong phrases are incorrect. Let's do it. First, let's see if it's right or wrong. And next, let's see why they are wrong. Okay, with this, after this we can go to the grammar bank, which in your books is, sorry, it's page 208. So you go there, and we just have this revision, because everything, I hope everything that is said here, we've seen it before, we've done it in the previous years. Okay, but anyway, read it. It's good to have a revision, and then when you do it, after you do it, you can practice doing this exercise. Solutions. Right. And the next exercise, you have to complete with one word. And these are the words. Perfect. We go back to the book, and we'll do this in class. So this is the end of the online class. The only thing left to do is these 2 pages of homework, which we will correct in the in-person class. It's some homework on vocabulary, transport, and some revision of the grammar we've just seen on comparatives and superlatives. So do this, and we will correct this in class on Monday. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, and see you in class.